More than 25 million Americans, most of them over the age of 60, are living with cataracts right now. By the time you turn 75, your odds of developing them rise to nearly 1 in 2. And by 80, more than 70% of people are affected. That isn't simply a medical statistic. It's a profound challenge to independence and quality of life. Cataracts don't just cloud vision, they erode freedom. Think about it. The car you once drove confidently at night becomes a blur of headlights bleeding into streaks of light. The books you used to read to your grandchildren now seem filled with ghostly, shifting words. Even the familiar face of your spouse, once sharp and expressive, appears through a dull, obscuring fog. It feels less like the natural march of age and more like a gradual loss of control over your world. And yet this decline doesn't happen overnight. Cataracts develop slowly, often over years, creeping in while you're unaware. What few people realize is that this process is not entirely irreversible, nor is it beyond influence. Your eyes, just like your skin or muscles, depend on nightly repair. During sleep, the lens, the retina, and even the optic nerve are meant to restore themselves. But when the body lacks the right nutrients, that healing is interrupted. Night after night, the damage builds instead of being repaired. Here's the hopeful part. The foods you eat before bed can make all the difference. Not supplements, not expensive treatments. Simple, natural foods, often already sitting in your kitchen. Tonight, I'll share with you 4 of the most effective evening foods that can help protect your eyes, slow the advance of cataracts, and even support healing while you rest. Let me begin with the story of Harold. At 73, a retired army mechanic, he had always prided himself on being self-reliant. But when he came to see me, he confessed something troubling. He had stopped driving at night. "It feels like piloting a car through fog," he told me. "The headlights smear across the glass, even when the windshield is spotless." That, I explained, was one of the earliest signs of cataracts, specifically the kind that cloud the central vision. His lens had lost flexibility and clarity, and his eyes could no longer adapt to sudden changes in light. But what Harold didn't realize was that his diet was starving his eyes. His dinners were often little more than toast or crackers, meals lacking the very nutrients his eyes depended on. I encouraged him to add something simple, a serving of cooked carrots in the evening. Carrots, as you know, are rich in beta-carotene, which the body converts to vitamin A, and vitamin A is essential for producing rhodopsin, a protein the eyes need to see in low light. Without it, adjusting to darkness becomes nearly impossible. Within just 2 weeks of making this small change, Harold noticed a difference. "I can read the numbers on the dashboard again," he told me, smiling. By the end of the month, he was driving to visit his daughter after sunset. That is the quiet power of nutrition timed to when your body needs it most. Carrots not only deliver vitamin A, but also provide antioxidants that reduce inflammation in the eyes, keeping the lens clearer for longer. But carrots are only the beginning. Sweet potatoes, warm, comforting, and nourishing, offer similar benefits with even more depth. One of my patients, Mrs. Landry, 68 years old, had begun seeing halos around streetlights at night. She stopped attending her evening book club, afraid to drive in the glare. Her diet was modest but lacking: toast in the morning, a sandwich at lunch, and little or nothing at dinner. I suggested she try baked sweet potatoes a few times each week as part of her evening meal. Her response: skepticism. But 3 weeks later she called, her voice brimming with relief. "I'm not driving yet," she admitted, "but I can read again at night. I finished an entire chapter without my magnifying glass." Sweet potatoes, you see, are packed with beta-carotene, vitamin C, vitamin E, and, most important for aging eyes, lutein and zeaxanthin. These antioxidants concentrate in the retina and macula, filtering harmful light and shielding against oxidative stress. Paired with their slow-digesting fibers that steady blood sugar through the night, sweet potatoes become both fuel and protection during the body's natural nightly repair cycle. If carrots and sweet potatoes protect the eyes from within, Then spinach acts as a shield for one of the most delicate tissues in the body, the retina. Barely half a millimeter thick, the retina is where light becomes sight. But as oxidative stress and nutrient loss take their toll, colors fade. Vision recovers more slowly from brightness, and simple tasks like reading a menu in dim light become a strain. Yet the retina responds remarkably well when nourished. Spinach contains lutein, zeaxanthin, folate, magnesium, and chlorophyll, all of which reduce inflammation and reinforce the macula's protective layer. Eating spinach at night allows these compounds to go to work while you sleep, strengthening the very foundation of your vision. I remember Clarice, a patient who loved old black and white films. Over time, the movies she adored lost their sharp contrast. The screen looked dull and lifeless. After we added sautéed spinach to her dinners 3 times a week, she called me a month later. It's like someone cleaned the lens. I can see the shadows again. And finally, perhaps the most underestimated food of all, eggs. Nearly every refrigerator holds them, but few people realize the treasure inside the golden yolk. Far from being a mere breakfast staple, eggs carry lutein, zeaxanthin, and zinc, all crucial for protecting the eyes from cataracts. Zinc, in particular, ensures that vitamin A can reach the retina to produce melanin, the pigment that shields the eyes. Without it, the other nutrients simply cannot perform their work. One of my patients, Robert, a 76-year-old music teacher, had cataracts advancing more quickly than expected. He dreaded surgery and asked what else could be done. He had avoided eggs for years due to cholesterol concerns. But modern research reassures us. For most people, dietary cholesterol has little effect on blood cholesterol. Robert agreed to try 2 boiled eggs with dinner a few nights a week. 6 weeks later, his cataracts hadn't disappeared, but they had stabilized. And for the first time in months, he could read sheet music without straining. That for him was a gift of hope. So where does this leave us? With 4 humble, accessible foods, carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, and eggs, that can make a profound difference if eaten consistently before bed. Not supplements, not complicated regimens, just real food taken at the right time when your eyes need it most. Start with one tonight. Add carrots to a soup. Roast a sweet potato. Wilt a handful of spinach with garlic. Boil a couple of eggs and keep them ready in the fridge. The point isn't to eat all 4 every day, but to build a steady rhythm, 2 or 3 times a week, so your eyes receive what they need to repair and protect themselves over time. Remember, we're not aiming for perfection, only progress. Each small step, repeated often, strengthens your vision for tomorrow. Each evening meal becomes an act of self-care, a quiet rebellion against decline, and a gift to your future self. And I want to leave you with this. Growing older brings many challenges, but it also brings choices. The choice to believe decline is inevitable, or the choice to nourish what remains, to protect what is precious, and to give your eyes the chance to see clearly for years to come. Because your vision is more than a function. It is memory, connection, and beauty. It is the sparkle in your loved one's gaze, the glow of a sunset, the words of a cherished book. So tonight, when you prepare your meal, remember, you are not just eating. You are choosing clarity. You are choosing hope. And you are proving, one small habit at a time, that it is never too late to see the world anew.